Good afternoon, this is Amber Limser. This is the 5th podcast for my 5th grade students in our choice-based art classroom. We are finishing up projects this week, and I have been thoroughly happy with the way things are turning out. A lot of the great pieces that we've created. It's been quite a fast and furious journey. I guess the first question that I asked was, is inquiry going on in my classroom and how it's working for me and for my students? I think we definitely do have inquiry going on in a choice-based atmosphere, definitely really pushing ourselves to think about our artworks and how we're doing them and materials we're using. A lot of what I would almost call serious play going on, lots of serious work. There's not a lot of smoke and mirrors with this. It's, no tricking of the mind. I'm not asking for hundreds of pictures of lollipops. I'm getting a lot of different things. I've started hanging some of the students' artwork in the hallway, and they're really happy with the end product. A lot of the other students from other classes have been looking at the projects. Teachers have been walking by, asking questions about what we're doing, reading our information sheet out beside it. I have a little information sheet that kind of tells what our projects are about and what we've been talking about inside our classroom about culture. The wonderful thing that I've been noticing is that they're making connections to other assignments that they have in their social studies classroom and in their English classroom. They did a Skype this last week with a museum in Cody, Wyoming, a Native American museum, and they asked them questions about culture, and it was just really great because my kids could answer those topic questions because we've been talking about culture. They've been exploring culture, so they have an idea about what culture is about. They've been researching their backgrounds, and it's been really interesting to see how their inquiry into their own art projects is playing out into their other classrooms. I've had some teachers come up to me and say, so-and-so brought in their design for a teepee that they wanted to show the class. So it's been really great. And the other question was, are my kids really becoming independent thinkers and expressive in their artworks? And I think we're slow to that. Independent thinkers, I think that we are moving towards that. Do I think it was exactly accomplished in this? To an extent, I think that this is new for them. So as we continue with units on or in our choice-based atmosphere, that they will really start jumping on that idea that, okay, I'm creating something and it needs to be really interesting and not like everyone else's. So independent thinkers, they're problem solving on their own, so in a way that's really working for us. They're not so much depending on me to answer the questions for them. So this has been a really good experience as far as that goes. They're becoming kind of independent little artists and exploring their own avenues. I've been kind of standing back and watching them, and of course they're going to ask questions about, well, do you think if I mix this, what'll happen? And we explore that option together. But it's not necessarily about me saying, okay, you have the paintbrush, you're going to dip it in the yellow, and we're going to dip it in the blue, and we're going to figure out this is green. They're kind of exploring on their own. So to me, I think that what questions I was asking about inquiry and about becoming independent thinkers and expressive creators on their own are really happening for us in our classroom. They're exploring a lot of different avenues. They're talking about things with each other, and they're just becoming involved and growing so much in our atmosphere now. And, they're kind of becoming almost independent of me, which is really great. They're coming in, they know what they're doing. We're doing short demonstrations before class, and then we're just breaking into centers, and we're going to town. Some students, of course, are sticking close to me when we're doing a certain demonstration because they think it will help them. So almost kind of like a workshop in a way. We are in a constant state of work, and then we have moments that we break and we talk about things. This week we're going to have moments to stop and talk about artwork. Some students have already started looking at other students' artwork, and we've been talking about how we can improve it. We're doing finishing touches on artworks right now, and we're doing exit worksheets for their notebooks. So they're asking each other questions about that. They're helping each other with their exit slips. They're kind of self-assessing and peer assessing all in the same time. They're not really coming to me and saying, well, what grade would you give it, Miss L? What grade would you have this do? They're actually answering those questions on their own, and then they're coming to me and saying, well, this is what I think about this, and are you agreeing with me? And I say yes or no, and then we discuss it a little bit more. If they need to make changes, we make changes. If not, we don't. It's been kind of a interesting thing for me, having to stand back and kind of let them make. One of the hardest things for me is that I want them to create masterpieces all the time. But some of the stuff, do I think it's, gallery material? No. Do I think that their pieces are definitely about process and about learning and about moving towards becoming independent thinkers and inquiry and divergent forms of thinking? Yes. I've had to think of it like this. It's process over product. Process over product. Not killing their creativity and letting them create things that are necessarily not gallery material, but learning, inquiring about things, to me has been very interesting and almost an eye-opening experience. Having to step back from that captain seat and letting them take the reins has been kind of difficult, but I am enjoying it. We're not creating cookie cutter artworks. We're not poking and puking out rainbows and hearts. We're actually creating artworks that relate to us and our environments and what is going on around us and our culture and what we're doing. And I'm seeing a lot of really great ideas come from my students. Are their pieces the most amazing pieces I've ever seen? No. But the story and the message behind them, pretty awesome. Choice-based learning, I think, is really great. If you're looking for something that's going to kind of give you a new take on how to teach, it's really great. It allows you to become kind of like a co-captain for these students and give them the reins to grow as individuals and learn. And to me, it opens a whole new area for them to explore. We're not just doing one project at a time, and some of them are doing 3 or 4 projects at a time. Some of them are making things that I've never even thought about making. And so it's been kind of a humbling experience for me to learn that, all this time I've had students that were really amazing at art, but I wasn't allowing them to be open to that, allowing them to express and self-express the way they need to self-express. I'm seeing a lot of students that normally I don't hear anything from, that I don't have any problems with, but I don't necessarily see anything. They're one of those, what I call the in-between student. They're so good that you don't really notice them. They just do their work and hang out. The wonderful thing about them now is that now that they're talking to me, I'm getting that one-on-one experience with them that they need. And I'm seeing a lot of students open up and inquire about things and become their own little individuals, which is really what I was looking for. It's also helped me as an educator think about what I need to do to make the environment better for them, what I need to do to push them to go further, what I need to do to become more structured to help them create on a higher level. A lot of Bloom's taxonomy going on here, creating and inquiring and thinking about knowledge and what we're going to do. Am I necessarily focusing in on the every need of art making. Yes, we're talking about elements of art, and we're talking about principles of design, but it's so much more than that. We're not just focusing on art, we're exploring all avenues of different experiences, self-expression, stories behind other stories, literature, science. We're incorporating all these things into this choice-based atmosphere. So as a teacher, you can't be sitting, I read in an article, I think in one of my graduate classes, I think in my history of art education classes, I think that was the one that I was in. We had a discussion about how you can't just sit on the sidelines in a choice-based atmosphere, in this new form of teaching, in this choice-based atmosphere. You have to be ready to play ball with your students, and it's just been a really good experience for me. This is just beyond what I thought it might be. It's been kind of an exhilarating experience, and I think as we finish up projects this week, I'm just kind of in awe of the things that they create, but also in awe of the response that it's getting from my students and other students and the teachers and their parents. Their parents are checking in more often to see what we need, what we're doing. We have one parent that comes and donates tons of products to our sculpture center all the time now. He's very involved, and he just wants to help us, and it's been a really good experience for me, and I think for my students. So as I finish out this week with my students, I'm excited to continue this process with them, but I think I'm pretty sure that we are inquiring, that we are doing some self-expressionism and some independent, divergent thinking. Are all of my students doing it? I won't say that all of them are doing it, but we are well on our way to growing as little individuals. I am well on my way to becoming a better teacher, I think, structurally and open-mindedly towards what my students are doing, and not so close-minded and narrow-minded to what we've been doing the last 7 years of my teaching experience. Definitely different from what we've done before, and my students are just happy and more in tune with art than I've ever seen them. So if you are thinking about doing a choice-based art education classroom in your school, and you are thinking that, this is something that you might want, or you want to inquire more about, please do so. Don't try it with all of your students all at once, but definitely maybe try it with one or two of your classes and see how it works out. I think you'll find that it's a very pleasant experience, and you'll enjoy it. Anyway, thank you. Have a good day.